Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a topic that, well, really sits at the heart of our shared human experience, understanding and supporting individuals with Down syndrome. And we're not just aiming for, a surface level nod of awareness. We want to really dig into the realities.
Yeah, the individual journeys, the needs, and the often untapped potential there.
Exactly, because true support, it really hinges on moving past those broad strokes, doesn't it? Appreciating the rich tapestry of individual lives.
It really does. Understanding needs to be much deeper than just knowing the name of the condition.
Right. And to help us sort of navigate this, we've got a fascinating mix of sources today. There's a document originally in Arabic, which really emphasizes a deeply compassionate care and understanding.
Which is a really interesting perspective to bring in.
It is. And alongside that, we have several research articles offering, rigorous academic viewpoints. So it's this intersection of heartfelt insight and, well, scientific findings.
And what's really illuminating, I think, is how that combination highlights both the essential human connection and the evidence-based understanding. It grounds the science in the personal.
Yeah, exactly. So our mission today is pretty focused. We want to extract the core wisdom from these sources, build a more informed and, crucially, a more compassionate way forward.
Looking for knowledge that actually resonates, that people can use.
That's it, knowledge that can be put into action. Okay, let's get right to it then. Why is a deep understanding so fundamental? Where do we start?
Well, this is really the bedrock, isn't it? Effective support isn't some kind of template you just apply universally. Our sources are really clear on this. We have to avoid treating individuals with Down syndrome as like one homogeneous group.
That feels incredibly important, just like any group of people, really.
Exactly. The range of abilities, personalities, interests, needs, it's as diverse as in any other population. We just can't paint everyone with the same brush.
That makes total sense. We all have our unique strengths, our areas where we need a bit more support. What specifically does the research tell us about this individual variation?
Well, there's some really interesting work, like from Strydom and colleagues back in 2019. They found significant variability in cognitive profiles, which basically means the spectrum of intellectual abilities within the Down syndrome population can be, well, quite broad. It's not a single point on a scale.
So that really underscores why tailored support, recognizing individual learning styles, different paces, it's not just a nice to have.
No, it's essential. Absolutely essential for effective support and for enabling people to thrive.
So it's really about recognizing and responding to the individual first and foremost, not just the diagnosis. And to do that, we probably need a clear picture of what Down syndrome actually is, genetically speaking.
Precisely. And the CDC definition from 2023 gives a pretty clear, concise explanation. Essentially, Down syndrome is a genetic condition. It results from having an extra copy, either a whole or a partial copy, of chromosome 21.
Right, the 21st chromosome. And how does that extra genetic material manifest? How does it affect development?
Well, having that additional genetic material changes the expression of quite a few genes involved in development.
Okay.
And this leads to alterations in both physical characteristics and brain development, which are commonly associated with Down syndrome.
Commonly associated, but again, not uniform.
Exactly. It's really important to remember these are common features, but they manifest uniquely in each person. The combination and intensity varies.
Okay, so we have the genetic basis, and we're really emphasizing this wide spectrum of individual expression. Now, that Arabic document we mentioned, it really put compassionate care right at the forefront. What does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, it's a powerful concept. The document portrays compassionate care as something that extends far, far beyond just meeting someone's basic physical needs,
So more than just food, shelter, practical help.
Oh, much more. It's about actively cultivating an environment where individuals feel genuinely valued, emotionally secure, psychologically supported. It's about recognizing their inherent worth as a person.
That sounds fundamental for anyone's well-being.
It is, and research, like Dykens' work in 2017, really highlights the crucial role of emotional and psychological well-being in this context.
How so?
Well, it involves actively fostering self-confidence, encouraging independence wherever possible in daily tasks, and really nurturing a strong sense of self-worth.
Okay.
And building warm, positive relationships. That's also fundamental to their overall mental and emotional health. We're talking about nurturing the whole person, not just managing a condition.
That resonates deeply, feeling valued, feeling supported. It's essential for all of us to thrive, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, another key aspect that seemed to emerge consistently from our sources was the vital role of education and training.
Yes, definitely. Accessible and appropriate educational and training opportunities are just critical. They're key for empowering individuals with Down syndrome to develop their skills.
And reach their potential.
Exactly. Reach their full potential across all areas of life.
So what kinds of educational settings or approaches seem to work best, based on the research?
Well, the research, including work by Fidler and colleagues in 2021, it strongly supports the benefits of inclusive education.
So, in mainstream schools.
Yeah, inclusion in mainstream schools, provided there's appropriate specialized support available, both for the students themselves and, importantly, for their educators, too.
Right. Teachers need support as well.
For sure. And these inclusive settings, they seem to foster both academic progress and that crucial social development, learning alongside peers.
Makes sense. What about beyond school years?
That's where vocational programs come in. And other platforms that focus specifically on building practical life skills and professional skills, they play a really vital role in preparing individuals for, greater autonomy and independence in adulthood.
So it's about creating these pathways for growth in all facets of life, academic, social, practical.
Precisely. A holistic approach to development.
And thinking about that holistic view, it's not just the individual who needs support, is it? Our sources also really emphasize the family.
Oh, hugely important. You can't effectively support an individual with Down syndrome without also considering their family's needs.
Yeah.
It's a whole ecosystem.
So what do families typically need?
Well, they require access to comprehensive information, reliable information. They need relevant resources, and often ongoing psychological and social support to navigate the unique joys and challenges.
Yeah, I imagine it involves a pretty complex web of needs that families have to figure out.
It really does. And research, like Skotko's in 2020, it really underscores just how crucial it is to equip families with these necessary support systems.
Because when the family feels supported.
Exactly. When families feel well-informed, connected, supported, they're just better positioned to provide that consistent, effective, loving care that their loved ones need. It creates this positive, reinforcing cycle.
It all feels so interconnected, doesn't it? You've got the deep understanding, the compassionate care, the education and training, the family support. When all these pieces come together, what's the bigger picture? What's the broader impact on society?
Well, collectively, our sources frame this whole effort not just as like an ethical obligation,
Which it is.
which absolutely is, but also as a clear indicator of a society's values. It's a commitment to progress, really. By embracing deep understanding and providing comprehensive support, we uphold the dignity of individuals with Down syndrome.
And allow them to realize their potential.
Exactly, their inherent potential.
And those positive effects, they must ripple outwards, right? It's not just about the individual and their family.
Absolutely. As that Arabic document so eloquently suggests, individuals with Down syndrome possess unique talents, perspectives, abilities that can genuinely enrich our communities, profoundly even.
If they're given the chance.
If given the opportunities and the right kind of support, yes. So it really calls for this collective commitment, building trust, fostering greater awareness, creating truly inclusive environments.
Environments where differences aren't seen as deficits.
Precisely. Where differences are seen, as the document puts it, as sources of creativity and strength. It's a different way of looking at things.
That paints a really compelling vision of a more inclusive, maybe more vibrant world. So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, what are the sort of core messages, the key insights you'd want our listeners to really carry with them?
Okay, I think the core messages are pretty clear. First, prioritize developing a deep, nuanced understanding. Understand Down syndrome, yes, but more importantly, understand the inherent individuality of each person.
Right, person first.
Person first, always. Second, practice compassionate care that truly values and supports the whole individual, emotionally, psychologically, practically. Third, ensure access to appropriate and empowering education and training opportunities throughout life. Fourth, recognize and actively bolster the crucial role of family support. Families need to be part of the equation.
Okay.
And finally, understand that all of these elements together, they contribute to building a much more vibrant, more just, and more inclusive society for absolutely everyone.
It really highlights that supporting individuals with Down syndrome isn't just one group's job. It's a shared responsibility, isn't it? Something that speaks directly to our shared humanity.
Exactly. And it's not a static thing either. It's an ongoing process,
Yeah.
learning, listening, adapting our approaches as we continue to gain deeper insights and hear more from individuals themselves and their families.
That's a great point. It's continuous. So, a final thought perhaps for you listening.
Yeah.
As you go about your day, maybe just consider, how actively are you cultivating understanding and inclusivity in your own life, your own community?
Yeah. What small steps can you take?
Exactly. Think about those small everyday actions that can help unlock someone's potential, maybe challenge a misconception, and just contribute to a richer, more vibrant world for all of us. It's about looking inward sometimes, reflecting on our own perspectives, and then actively, building that more inclusive world, one connection at a time.